Okay, so today what we will do, we will talk about the application load balancer. Okay, if you have any question, you can type it, or you can speak. Both options are available. Okay, so basically what happens, yesterday we have discussed about the classic load balancer, where we have seen that there is a EC2 instance or multiple EC2 instances which we have configured with the load balancer, and we were using DNS name of the load balancer, and with the help of that we were basically seeing the website 1 or website 2, because my load balancer is keep moving to website 1 or website 2 instances depending upon the traffic load. Okay, so that thing is good, and that thing is also used very widely in industry level. But now let us think about a microservice. In microservice, we have the same example EC2 instances and another EC2 instance. So what is basically microservices here? So microservices is basically your different components, like you have orders, you have payment, and they are embedded it into one big application, right? So we have discussed that microservices earlier, like your banking application. And in the banking application, you have payment, you have withdrawal, you have customer care service. All these are the separate components. So let me just explain one more time. So this is my banking application. Okay. And in this banking application, basically if I move everything inside it, so say an example, you have a customer care service here. If you have a withdrawal service, that is also here. And if you have a say deposit service, it is here. And there is an internet service. Everything is here. Now what will happen if you make the changes, say an example in customer care service, then what you need to do, you need to deploy the entire application. If that thing happens, then even though there is no change in withdrawal service, deposit service, or internet service, even though you need to stop the application, shut down the application for a particular time, and these services will also not available. Such kind of approach is called the monolithic approach. So we call it monolithic. Now, to solve such kind of a tight coupling issue, what we do, we create a separate application, and that application is, somebody is pinging. And such application is withdrawal service is separate, your customer care service is separate, and your, say an example, deposit service is separate, and your, say, internet service is separate. Okay, so all these services are separate, and this is your application. This is your banking application. Now, this may be running on separate server. This may be running on separate server. This may be running on separate server, but they are connected to each other, and we are getting one banking application. Now, what will happen? Say an example, this customer care service is not working. Then bank, then other services are not get impacted, first of all. Secondly, if you want to, if the developers fix the code and they want to redeploy it, they only need to redeploy the customer care service, not the other services. Like, means there is no downtime for withdrawal, deposit, or internet banking. So this is the benefit of microservices. Such kind of application, if you are using such kind of approach, that is called the microservices. So yesterday we have discussed about how to create a classic load balancer, and in classic load balancer we have seen that there are two EC2 instances, right? These two EC2 instances, and there is a load balancer here. And this load balancer is connected to this EC2 instances, means it is load balancing the traffic, or you have same website here running and the same website is running here. So load balancer basically checks the traffic, whether I need to go to this instance, I need to go to this instance. So whichever instance it feels the traffic is less, it goes and connects to that EC2 instance. So that is the use of the classic load balancer. But now today we are talking about the application load balancer. In application load balancer, basically what happens, that is basically meant for the microservices. Application load balancer is meant for the microservices, means such kind of services. So let me just clear the screen and create a new diagram. So basically you are having the EC2 instances. This is my EC2 instance and this is another EC2 instance. Okay, and this is one set. This is basically one set, and there is another set which is this, which is having EC2 instances, and this also has the EC2 instance. Okay. Now, say an example, this is the orders and this is the payment. So there are two facility which we are giving, or you can say this is withdrawal and this is internet. Now I need to, yeah, so what I want to do, I want to, one second. So Ayush, you can see my screen?
Yes, sir, I can see your screen.
And also, who is connected? Who else is connected?
We just started, right?
Yeah, just started. So I was talking about what is microservices. So today we will talk about, remember we have discussed the microservices in DevOps, where we have discussed. So today we are going to talk about the application load balancer. So application load balancer is basically for the microservices. So say an example, there is a banking application, and in the banking application you have a withdrawal service and the internet service or deposit service, and you want these services is to be configured, or these services also need a load balancer. So in that case, we use the application load balancer. So say an example, if I say this is my withdrawal service, and this withdrawal service should have a load balancer. Load balancer. Okay. So in that case, I am using, and for this, Also I need a load balancer. So for both, I need the load balancer. But basically, then if I create one more microservice, I need the load balancer. So this is my same example withdrawal service. Um, this is the service which is internet related. So now let me just clear this. So for this, I need the load balancer. Okay. So I need the load balancer because these two are the component of my application. Now, instead of creating this load balancer, if I create one load balancer on application level, then it is called the application. So say an example, if I say it is not a load balancer, even though it is I call it is a listener. Okay, and it is a listener. So these two are the listener. And these two listeners are connected to my application load balancer.
So how it is different from this classic load balancer?
So in classic load balancer, we have created the in classic load balancer, we are targeting the website, complete application, right? And we mostly classic load balancer, we do it on the HTTP level, right? Now the time is that where the microservices get created. So which is one application. Say an example, you have the banking application, and in banking application is not the only one, only your website, but it is using some components like your withdrawal service, your internet service, or deposit service, customer care service. Now these services which are running, they also need to be load balanced. So for that we need to create the application level load balancing. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm saying for my withdrawal service, instead of creating a load balancer, I will create the listeners, and I will do the health check on the through the listener. So my withdrawal service, my internet service, it will be these two services will be. I will do the health check through the listener, and I will create a application level load balancer, and which will maintain the load balancing on the basis of these listeners. So we will see, we need to create some target group and other things. So, but overall theoretical idea is this one. So basically what I do, I will create some target group.
So target group is some EC2 instances.
It's not EC2 instance, it is basically for group of EC2 instance, I will give some name, some grouping name.
Okay.
Okay, and when I give the group name, so it will listen. So, for an example, I am saying that I need withdrawal service. So, application will go /withdrawal. It will go to this target group, and it will check how many instances are running, and these instances accordingly it will do the load balancing. So now again, if I say application/internet service, so it will not go to this target group. Okay, so it will go to the internet service target group, and it will see that there are two instances are running, so I need to load balance accordingly. So that is the overall idea of the application. So means one application which is running with the different. So what this listener will do basically. So say an example, this is the listener, and this listener is saying I want to go to the withdrawal service. Okay, so some star if I say, and this listener is listening on port 80. And same case is here. There is a internet service, so it is /internet service, means your application name /internet service /star. And now it is also listening to some port, which is port 80 or 90, whatever it is. Okay. So now, okay. So this way, basically, the idea is that in the use case is that if the question comes or if the requirement comes in such a way that if there is a website and you need to load balance it, it's not a microservice, then simple websites, then you can go with the classic load balancer where you are only targeting to the one application and rest of the thing is maintained by the application itself. Then you can go with the classic load balancer. But if you need to maintain the microservice where your application is basically having the other services and these services are also maintained by you, so then you create a load balancer on application level. Is the concept is clear?
Yes, yes.
Sandeep?
So let's say there is a net banking when we're using a particular bank. So in that net banking, there are lots of services like the payment gateway, we do lots of things,
right,
transfer. So those are the microservices,
right?
Those are the services within their portal.
Yes.
So they might have this application load balancer. So those services being also used by a number of people.
Yes.
At the same time.
Right. So these days means from last 8 to 10 years, I would say, people are more focusing on the microservices. Means the developers are more focusing on the microservices. Okay, so let us see how to implement it. So to do that, what I will do, I will create a instance. Okay. One second. Right, so I will create this Amazon. So you can create any any instance depending upon your website. Okay, I will take this as it is. Okay, this add tags. So I will say name tag and I will give the orders or withdraws, whatever you want to. So I'm just saying orders. So want, actually SSH so far we are using, and it is optional also. So if you want to connect, then you can use the SSH. Otherwise, okay, so actually we need to do that because we need to we need to have that, because we need to connect. Okay, and second, I want to web server. I have created EC2 web server which has port 88. So okay. Review and launch and launch. Okay, you want to use the private key, right? So now this instances should be in the pending state here. So what I will do, I will install a HTTPD on this, and I will enable my HTTPD or start my service, and I will create one orders application. Okay, so I will connect using EC2 Instance, connect. Okay, now if I say yum update -y, okay, now here if I say yum install httpd -y, okay, it is installed. And now if I create a directory which is under where, under www, under HTML, under orders. Okay, so I want to create this directory, say orders. Okay, so directory is created. Now I want to create one HTML file in this. So I will go vi. Actually, I need to go here, and I will say vi, and then index.html. Okay, and here I will say simple file h1. This is orders application. Okay, I will say /h1. Save it. Okay, so this is saved. Now I need to start the service. So systemctl start http. Okay, so to verify this, I will take this IP address and I will go to my website, and if I paste it here, it should be, this is the test page /orders. Okay, R is right. So it has this content. Okay, now similar way, what I will do, I will create one more instance. EC2 instance. I will call it payments and deposits. Okay. And next, I will add the existing security group, which is this connect, review and launch. Okay, I will use this key pair.
So it's not like so one microservices running on one particular instance.
One or collection of instance, right?
Because here orders is running on one instance.
Right.
And payment gateway, so like that, it can be there in the real-time scenario as well.
Yes. So in real-time scenario, there are you have a separate applications which are basically the part of the main application, right? So
Yes.
so same way basically. So now.
So those microservices will be running on another service.
Yes, mostly it is on it runs on the separate server, or it could be the part of the same server also. It depends. It depends that how it is structured. But in most of the cases, because if your main server where your application is running, if that server is down, then your other services should not be down,
Okay. Yes.
right? So now we need to perform the same kind of activity. So what I will do, I will just connect this with EC2. Okay, just do the SU, and then I will say yum update -1 yum install dpt. Okay, and I will make a directory under where HTML/deposits. Okay, so I will say vi/where HTML deposits, and I will say deposits dot no, not deposits, sorry, index.html. Now here what I will do, I will create a page, say h1, this is deposits page. Okay, I will save it. I will start the service. Okay, and to verify it, we will go and say okay.
IP address should be different, right? Because
Pause.
this is from another
Right. we have, yeah, okay, fine. So now what we need to do, we need to create the application load balancer. So before creating application load balancer, what you need to do, you need to create the target groups. Okay, so I will create the target group for my orders as well as for my deposits. Okay, so I already have two, which I will delete it. Okay, so I will create a new target group and I give it as the
So what exactly the target will do
target.
forward the request?
So target group is basically your your collection of EC2 instances. So it represents a group. So all your EC2 instances which comes under the deposits or orders, so that will be represented by the target groups. Okay. So here I need to select whether it's a instance, EC2 instances, or it is an IP address, or it is a lambda function. So here we are not having the IP address. We can use the IP address also if it is a fixed one, but we are going to use the instance level. Okay. Then protocol, which our website is running on HTTP protocol, so you can have other protocols also. Okay, TCP or protocol is also available. And next is the port number, port 80 it will run, and we are using our default VPC, right? So I'm selecting that, and the protocol health check settings. So in health check settings, it will go and check the orders, right? So we have the orders page folder. Under orders, we have index.html, right? So that's what we have done. So basically, when we went to this website, so we have given this /orders, and then it opens the index.html file. So that will be my uh, path which I want to check. And if you want to set the another health settings, which we have done in the classic load balancer, interval, threshold, unhealthy, same thing will be, you can make it here. Okay, so that's it. Now we will create it. Okay, so now a security group is created with order. Okay, so similar way, if you select and if you see the targets here, okay, I need to provide the EC2 instances which I need to register it. So here under the targets, so there is no register target, so I will click on the edit because I selected the EC2 instances. So it is searching for the EC2 instance, and my EC2 instance is orders for this, right? And then I will say add to register and save. Okay, on port 80. Okay, unable to execute. Connect. Okay, 443 it is giving the error, that is fine. Okay, so let us see one more time. Our target group is added. No, let us say edit this, and let's save only. Let's add this. Why it is not registering? Let me do one more time. I think I'm doing some mistake. So I will select orders, add to register. I think I'm not selecting it. That's why. Yeah, so I need to select that. Okay. So now, second, I want to create the same way. Create one more group for deposits. Okay. So here I will say deposits instance. Same thing I will do. And in the path, I will say deposits slash index dot html, and then I will save it. Okay, successfully created. I will go to my deposits, targets, and I will add it and select the target, deposits, add to register, select it, and I will save it. So first step for that is done, which is our creating the target groups. Okay. Now, so if you remember, I was having EC2 instances. Now there is a listener, right? So target group I have created where the one or multiple EC2 instances you can register it. Now next I need to create the load balancer, application load balancer. So for that we will go to this load balancer, create load balancer, and create an application load balancer. Okay. So here you can give the load balancer name. I will give application load balancer. Okay, you can give anything you want for internal use only, private, or you want internet facing. I want to use the internet facing. And what is the IP address is used? The IP address is used for the IPv4 version. And here you can see listeners. So now I am defining the listener. A listener is a process that checks the connection request using the protocol and port. So here I want to listen on port 80. That is correct. Next is the availability zones. So this is my default VPC, right? I want on each availability zone, it will be available. So I'm selecting all my availability zones. So it means whichever availability zone it is there, just use. Now, next, configure settings. So here it is saying because we are not using 443. So is it okay with you? So I'm saying yes, okay. Now the security group, you can use the default and your web server security group. Okay. Now we need to enable the routing. So configure the routing.
So why we are selecting more than one security group?
No, that is one is default, which is having only SSH. So web server which has port 80 is opened. So that is, or you can select web server only. That will be also fine. Okay, so that port is to be because it is going to listen the port 80. So that port is to be means configured to some of the one of the security group. So that is why.
Okay, while selecting region of we selected multiple regions rather than one group because with our EC2 instance only one region.
Right.
But we selected multiple regions.
Not regions. We selected multiple availability zones. So yeah. So availability zones basically I'm saying if my EC2 instances are in anywhere, means if it is in availability zone 1 or 2 or 3. So because when your EC2 instances get created, it gets replicated, your data gets replicated, right? So you want if it is in 1A or 1B or 1C, wherever it is. So today you are creating only EC2 instance in availability zone A or B, but tomorrow you may need to create it on the other availability zone. Then again you need to reset the settings. So if you want to specific to a particular availability zone, go for that. But if you in future, if you are expanding it to the multiple availability zone, that's why I have selected. So it is up to you, means whether you want to select a particular word availability zone or all availability. So this all only depends upon where your instance is running.
Okay.
Okay. So next I need to configure the target group. So here I have created two targets group. So I'm saying take the existing target group. So basically I'm saying routing for the existing target group. So we have two target group. One is deposits and other is orders. So what I'm going to do, I want to use the first orders. Okay, so it means once it goes to that target group, whatever the instances is there, so just register that target group. Means whenever I say orders, my DNS name / orders, it will go here, and whatever I configured in the target group, which instances are configured, that will be automatically picked up. So rest of the thing, health check, everything, I will take the default setting. It automatically basically picks up. You can see this. So I will say register target. So when you say register target, so basically you can see that this port 80 and instance name is here. Next, you can review it. You can review whatever the things which you have created and click on create. Okay, so your load balancer is successfully created. Okay, so this is my load balancer, and now I call it application load balancer. This is the DNS name. Now let me go to the listener. Okay, so if you go to the listener, you can see down here port 80. Okay, and there are some rules defined for this, for orders. Okay, so if I click on view and edit rules, so this is the rule which is defined for my load balancer. So I'm saying if the request not routed, then go to the orders. Okay, if the request is not routed, go to, so by default it will go to the routers. So what I will do, I will create a rule, insert a rule. So I just want to create my own rule, and here I will select the path, and I'm saying if the path is / orders star, means if your path is having orders, then add an action, and you are saying forward to my target group orders. Okay, so what I'm saying, if my orders is, if my URL contains orders, okay, and then the request should go to the orders. Okay, so you need to click on this tick mark, and save it. Okay, so one of my rule get created. Now I want to insert a rule for one more condition, and that is for my deposits, right? So for deposit means if it is having something which we call deposits in the URL, then it should move to the another. So I want to add one more rule here.
Plus sign is there now.
Yes. So
below one. So what is this for below one then?
So there is a rule, and within a rule you want to create a rule. So insert rules, right? So what I want to say, I want to now add a condition. Now the condition is for my path, and my path will be slash deposits. So if it has the path deposits, so I will put star. Star means if it contains deposits. Then add an action and forward to my deposits. Okay, so I need to tick mark this. I need to tick mark this, and I will save it. So I have created two rules. Okay, so one rule is that if there is a deposits, and then it will go to the target group deposits, and if it is orders, then it will go forward to the orders. So let me go back and let me yeah.
Actually, like these rules has any hierarchy or priority? So that first it is a group and next group two.
No. So it is just like your if condition in programming language. So the value is your URL, if it contains orders, then do this. If it is deposits, then do this. So it is if conditions.
Okay, like the first one, what you write, it will check the first one, then it goes to second.
Right.
Depending on the condition.
Right. Okay. So if I see my target groups now, so if I go to my group, so here, let me check the targets. Okay, so it is saying, is it healthy? Yes, it is healthy. Okay, and if I go to my deposits, targets, is it healthy? Yes, it is healthy. Okay. Now I think I'm done with this. Let me go to my load balancer. So both looks healthy, and I will go to my load balancer, and in the description I will take this DNS name, and I will go here and I will type this. See deposit page, and if I say orders, then it is orders. Okay, so basically what I have created the load balancer application wise. So this is called the application load balancer. Any doubt, any question anyone has?
This is another DNS, right?
One DNS with multiple applications. So it has created listeners. Okay, so this way we are basically creating the application.
So those targets, right?
Yeah, it listens to that target group.
Okay. So let's say somebody is asking what is listener in the target group. We will say listeners are the group of
listeners are the protocols basically, and the protocols is your HTTP or TCP, or which is listening to a particular port number. So that is the port number HTTP port 88 is listening to a particular target group. So when you are saying your DNS name / orders, so then the listener comes into the picture and they will say orders. There is a rule defined for that, and that rule is that basically if it is orders, then I need to listen the port number 80, and I need to go to orders EC2 instances or target group. Fine. Okay. So now next is, so this is done. Application load balancer is done. So I will create one more. Now you can try it, right? You can create multiple EC2 instances and define your load balancer. Now next thing which I want to cover, which is not related to this, that is the SNS service. Okay, so let me go to my, so I'm deleting all this, otherwise it will be keep running for me. Okay, so I'm deleting all this. So there is no disturbance, right, in this meeting. So probably next week, Saturday, also we will connect. It is fine. What about you, Ayush and Sandeep?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Fine.
It's clear, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's clear.
It saved our transportation and going, because, but no problem. Next week Saturday we will connect online, but Sunday I can come over there. Or
So coming to physically is also like. So you come there and we can. If I'm not there, so can I connect online also?
online also, yes.
Okay.
So I will share the meeting ID.
You can go. Okay.
So the time.
Yeah.
Malaysia. Yeah, sir. Okay, so my EC2.
For the target group, you said we are creating it for the availability zone.
Right.
Can we create it for regions as well?
Actually, we are creating under the region only, under region the availability zone. But if you want to create it into a separate region, then because we are taking the EC2 instances, and that EC2 instances are basically these are in region wise, right? So these all things you need to create region wise instead of different regions. Means one web, if you think that one it is in one region and my other orders in one region and deposits in other region, that at this moment it is not possible. For that you need to create your VPC, you need to connect your VPC peering, so many things you need to do. But most of the time we create into one region. So we will talk in, probably next lecture will be on auto scaling and VPC. So there we will discuss about all this, that how you can connect with your system or your data center to the VPC or AWS. Okay, now next is SNS. So SNS is nothing but it is a simple notification service. In simple notification service, basically what happens, as you see in most of the cases, that there is a publisher and there are some subscribers. So, for example, we all have taken a SIM card from one or other service provider or mobile service provider. And now that mobile service provider, they want to send a message. Okay, they want to send a message to all the subscribers, some email or some text message. So what they will do, because all we are subscribed, so they just want to send a notification to all the subscribers which are registered to my service. For that, we can create a simple notification service. So let me just show you. So simple notification service which comes under the application integration. So let me click on this. And here you need to create some topics. I already have some topics. Let me remove that topics. DynamoDB. Have we discussed RDS or not?
No, sir.
We have not. Okay. Okay. So I want to create a topic. First, what you need to do, you need to create a topic. So you go to your SNS and click on topics and create topic. And here I am saying my topic is any name you can say, as I want to give Hello Tunes. So there should not be any gap because it's a name. Display name you can give anything. So if I say it is Hello Tunes. Okay, rest of the things are optional and I will create a topic. So I have created one topic. Now I want to create a subscription. Either you can click on subscription and create subscription, or in the topic itself it will show the subscription. So I'm clicking on the create subscription. And here I'm saying what I want to do. So there is a ARN. So wherever you see ARN, it is basically AWS resource name and the protocol. So now you want to send an email. You want to send an email by using JSON format. You want to send it to some website or web services or web API, REST API. Then you can use the HTTPS. And if you are using the SMS, but SMS is not possible because you need to configure a lot of things for that. And there are some endpoint applications are having some endpoint. You want to target that. So I'm taking a very simple example of email because you need to register for that. Okay. Endpoint is nothing but your email address. So I'm giving my email address. Okay. And create subscription. So what will happen? There will be one email goes to my email account. Okay. And you can see this is the old one. Deleted. This is the new subscription, which is the pending for the confirmation. So I need to go to my account. Okay, so you can see there is a notification came. And here I need to confirm the subscription. So once it is confirmed, you can unsubscribe at any time. Okay, then I will go to my this page and I will refresh it. And you can see it is confirmed now. So now what will happen? If I go to my topics again and I'll select my topic and I want to publish a message. Okay, subject. You want to give any subject here? Say, hello, tune service from AWS or Vodafone. Okay, so how long you want to keep this message, then automatically get deleted. So if you want to give some time, it is up to you. I am not giving. What is the message? So message which I want to give, it is this is the message from Vodafone. Okay, and publish the message. Now message is published, so I will get one email. If I go to my, so you can see there is a message from here, right here. This is the message from the Vodafone. So this way you can basically create a simple notification service, and with the help of that you can send the messages to the subscribed users. And this is mostly used when you want to send some automatic messages. So as an example, this I have shown you how manually we need to do it. But if you are a AWS developer, then you use this service, AWS service, and then you basically send the messages by your database, reading the data from the database, and use some loop condition, and then you can basically send the messages through the simple notification service. Any doubt, any question? Okay. Yeah. Time to live. So it means so you want that your message should be remain there for hours or for some time, the message which you are pushing, so that if you want to keep that message, then you can use the TTL value. As a service in AWS, yes. Okay, so let me stop here today, and next week we will see auto scaling and VPC. I will share this recording. Yeah, okay.
We do have this recording in the previous one.
Yeah, I will update that recording.
Okay. Yeah, just do it there.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Yes, sir. Thank you.